inside the secretive, gold-plated world of Ali Khamenei's ultra-secure travels, where Iran's humble supreme leader moves like a king. Let's begin with the destinations themselves. Khamenei's most important and regular travel destination is the city of Mashhad, his hometown and the site of the revered Imam Reza Shrine. Since the early years of his rule, Khamenei has visited Mashhad twice a year, the first trip typically taking place for 1 week in the middle of March, and the second for 2 weeks in August or September. These trips, with the exception of the COVID-19 pandemic years, are a fixture of his annual schedule. But unlike the publicized pilgrimages of ordinary Iranians, Khamenei's journeys are shrouded in secrecy and protected by layers of security that rival those of any world leader. The secrecy surrounding these trips is no accident. The Iranian regime has invested heavily in cultivating Khamenei's image as the leader of the world's oppressed and poor, a man who lives simply and close to the people. To maintain this narrative, the details of his vacations and movements are kept tightly under wraps. Yet leaks from former military personnel and analysis of satellite imagery over the past 15 years have revealed the true scale and luxury of these operations. The contrast between the public image and the reality is stark. While state media might show Khamenei among ordinary passengers on a commercial flight, the actual logistics of his travel involve a massive mobilization of resources and personnel, all orchestrated to ensure his safety and comfort. So how exactly does Khamenei travel to Mashhad? The answer is a masterclass in misdirection and security theater. Roughly half of his trips to Mashhad are kept secret, with details only emerging after the fact. To avoid predictability and potential threats, the Wali Amr Corps, a special unit within the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps tasked with protecting the supreme leader, employs a variety of tactics. In some cases, Khamenei and his entourage board a regular passenger aircraft, blending in with ordinary travelers. Meanwhile, his dedicated VIP aircraft, a government-owned Airbus A340-313 with the registration code EP-IGA, is flown to Mashhad empty. This decoy maneuver is designed to obscure his actual whereabouts and travel method, making it nearly impossible for outside observers to track his movements in real time. The entourage accompanying Khamenei is anything but modest. Typically, 2 state media journalists are tasked with documenting his presence among regular passengers for propaganda purposes, while around 20 bodyguards travel with him. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. In the days leading up to and during his visit, more than 1,400 members of the Wali Amr Corps are deployed to Mashhad. These troops are transported using several IRGC Aerospace Force aircraft, including IL-76TD and IL-74TK 200 transport planes. On the day of his arrival, high-ranking IRGC generals, including the commander of the Wali Amr Corps, also fly to Mashhad on VIP jets to oversee the operation firsthand. The journey from Khamenei's residence in central Tehran to the airport is itself a tightly choreographed affair. 5 VIP helicopters, typically 2 Bell 412s and 3 Bell 212s, are used for this short but critical transfer. 1 Bell 412 carries Khamenei, while the other flies empty as a decoy. The 3 Bell 212s transport additional bodyguards. These helicopters land at a former barracks near his residence just 700 meters away and then make the brief flight to Mehrabad Airport, where Khamenei boards either a VIP jet or is escorted to a passenger terminal if he is traveling incognito. Once in Mashhad, Khamenei is whisked away from the airport to Malik Abad Palace, a luxurious estate 8 kilometers from the airport using armored minibuses. His ground movement is protected by an even more dramatic display of force. 2 Air Force fighter jets conduct combat air patrols over the city during his transit, ensuring that no threat can approach the supreme leader. The same elaborate procedures are followed for his return to Tehran, although he always uses a VIP aircraft for the journey back, either the aforementioned Airbus A340-313 or an Airbus A321-231 VIP jet. The security measures surrounding Khamenei's travels are not limited to his trips to Mashhad. Any provincial visit by the Supreme Leader triggers a massive security operation. Weeks in advance, teams of security personnel are dispatched to the destination to conduct thorough assessments and cordon off areas, ensuring clear entry and exit points. The presence of Khamenei in any province effectively paralyzes normal activity, as public movement is severely restricted and entire neighborhoods can be locked down for the duration of his stay. In recent years, however, such trips have become less frequent, partly due to heightened security concerns and possibly Khamenei's advancing age and health issues. Many public events that once required his presence in the provinces are now held at his headquarters in Tehran. The extraordinary precautions taken for Khamenei's safety are a testament to both the real and perceived threats he faces, as well as the immense value placed on his well-being by the Iranian regime. The sheer scale of these operations, hundreds of security personnel, military aircraft, armored convoys, and combat air patrols, underscores the reality that Khamenei is not just a religious figure, but the linchpin of Iran's entire political system. His survival and security are paramount to the stability of the regime, and no expense is spared in ensuring them. This reality stands in stark contrast to the image projected by Khamenei and the state-controlled media. Publicly, Khamenei has often criticized Iranians for traveling abroad too frequently, urging them to adopt more austere habits and save foreign currency for the good of the nation. He has called for bans on the import of foreign goods and encouraged pilgrimages to domestic holy sites as a way to support the country's economy and religious values. Yet, while ordinary Iranians are urged to tighten their belts and forego luxuries, the Supreme Leader himself enjoys the privileges of a head of state with access to some of the most advanced and expensive travel and security arrangements in the region. It's also notable that despite his immense power, Khamenei does not travel overseas. Apart from his time as a student in Najaf and a visit to Libya during his presidency, he has not made foreign trips. Instead, foreign dignitaries who wish to meet him must come to Iran. This policy further enhances the aura of mystery and inaccessibility that surrounds him, reinforcing his status as the ultimate authority in the Islamic Republic. The secrecy and extravagance of Khamenei's travels are emblematic of the broader contradictions at the heart of the Iranian regime. On one hand, the leadership projects an image of piety, humility, and solidarity with the poor. On the other, it operates with the trappings of immense wealth and power, shielded from public scrutiny by a vast security apparatus and a tightly controlled media narrative. The annual vacations to Mashhad, the use of luxury aircraft and armored convoys, and the deployment of thousands of security personnel all serve to highlight the gap between rhetoric and reality. This gap is not lost on those who have witnessed the operations firsthand. Former military personnel who have participated in these security details have spoken of the hypocrisy they observed, noting the disconnect between the regime's claims of simplicity and the lavish measures taken to protect and accommodate the Supreme Leader. The use of decoy aircraft, the mobilization of entire military units, and the lockdown of cities for the sake of one man's safety are hardly the hallmarks of a modest lifestyle. Khamenei's travel habits also reflect the broader culture of secrecy and control that defines the Iranian political system. Information about his movements is tightly guarded, and leaks are rare and often the result of internal dissent or external intelligence efforts. The use of satellite imagery to track his visits to Mashhad is a testament to the lengths to which outside observers must go to piece together even basic facts about the Supreme Leader's activities. This culture of secrecy extends to all aspects of his life, from his personal wealth, which is believed to be vast though its true extent remains opaque, to the inner workings of his court and the mechanisms of power that sustain his rule. In the end, the story of Ali Khamenei's secret travels is about much more than the logistics of moving a powerful man from one city to another. It is a window into the nature of power in the Islamic Republic of Iran, centralized, secretive, and deeply invested in the preservation of its own authority. It is a story of contrasts between public image and private reality, between the rhetoric of simplicity and the reality of opulence, between the claims of solidarity with the poor and the exercise of privilege on a scale few in Iran can imagine. For ordinary Iranians, the spectacle of Khamenei's secretive and luxurious travels is a reminder of the vast gulf that separates the rulers from the ruled. While the Supreme Leader moves through the country, surrounded by layers of security and comfort, ordinary citizens are asked to make sacrifices for the good of the nation, to accept economic hardship, and to place their trust in a leadership that claims to share their struggles. The reality, as the details of Khamenei's travels make clear, is far more complicated and far less egalitarian than the official narrative would have us believe. So the next time you hear about Ali Khamenei's simple life, remember the convoys of armored vehicles, the fleets of helicopters and jets, the battalions of bodyguards, and the palatial estates that make up the hidden world of Iran's richest and most powerful supreme leader. Behind the veil of secrecy and propaganda lies a reality of privilege and power that few outsiders ever glimpse, but which shapes the very fabric of life in the Islamic Republic. So what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.